Hey guys, it's JD from Ponzo World, and today we're unboxing and reviewing this OBD scanner made by KINGBOLEN. Now this is a $33 OBD scanner that you guys can find on Amazon. Links will be down below the video if you want to go, of course, pick this thing up. And I guess there's not really much more to say about it other than the fact that I'm actually pretty excited to review this thing. If it's a car related item, I'm always excited to review it, so this is obviously a car related item, so I'm pretty excited. So anyways, let's go and just start with showing you around the box. You can see here on the front says YA206. I would assume that is the model number. OBD2 Enhanced Code Scanner. On the side here it says the same thing. On the other side here we have the Amazon label. And then on the back here it says it supports 1996 and newer cars, which I'm actually going to be trying this out on my 1996 Jeep Cherokee with the 4-liter inline 6. Full 10 modes of OBD2 test. Customize and graph live data. It says date, but it's just a typo. Graph battery voltage test. Multi-language available, so that's pretty cool. Built-in DTC lookup. I would assume that's to find out what the trouble code is. And then we also have a 2.4-inch TFT color screen, and then the specifications right here. So let's go ahead and open it up, and it looks like you pull on the top here, and you do. And there it is. Let's go ahead and pull it out here. There it is. We also in the box have a instruction manual, and then we have a little card over here for support. And that's it for the box. So let's go set that off to the side and take it out of the wrapping here. And here it is. It actually seems pretty all right so far. It feels relatively cheap, but I mean, it is relatively cheap. It's a $33 OBD scanner. That's pretty darn cheap for an OBD scanner. There it is, pretty cool. I did notice this connector here on the bottom. I'm gonna have to figure out what that's for. I don't think this thing has a battery built in. I could be wrong though. Anyways, there it is. So let's go and go try it out. All right, so I really quickly just took a look at the user manual, and I'm not totally sure on what this little connector here is on the bottom. Maybe from the factory that they're making this thing. Maybe they load the software via this port. I'm really not sure. Either way, we're gonna go try it out right now. All right, so I went ahead and brought the OBD connector scanner out here. And what I went ahead and done is I popped the hood, obviously. And since this vehicle doesn't have any actual problems right now, I went ahead and made a couple. So here I went ahead and disconnected the coolant temperature sensor that goes into the thermostat housing. Went ahead and disconnected one of the fuel injectors to cause a misfire. And then I also unplugged the throttle position sensor right there. So there should be 3 codes. Now I went ahead and tried to start it with all of these connectors unplugged, and it barely started. It barely ran because not only was it dumping a bunch of extra fuel in there, but it was also misfiring. That's not a very good combination. But I think it was running long enough for it to detecting misfire. You can see though, we do have the check engine light on, so it definitely detected at least one of the issues immediately. So let's go ahead and plug this port in. My OBD port is right under here. There we go. And this is my first time plugging it in. I don't know what it said right there. And okay, here it is. So let's go ahead and press diagnostics. And I haven't even read the instruction manual yet. I am going to read it in a little bit though. Okay, it's detecting the protocol. And by the way, it is in accessory mode. It's in the run position. Apparently, if you have some vehicles running, they won't, I think they'll read the code, but they won't actually clear the code. Okay, MIL status on. That's for the check engine light, I believe. Diagnostic trouble codes, 3. Monitor, okay, 6. Okay. Let's go in and just click one of these. Read codes. Okay, I do want to do that. Stored codes. Let's see what it has. We have the injector. Okay, so it recognizes that it's not firing on that one cylinder, which is good. And I did have the injector number 1 unplugged. You also have the throttle pedal position sensor unplugged. Detected that. And then the coolant temperature sensor unplugged. Okay, so it is reading the codes perfectly fine. That is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and go back here. Let's go to pending codes. I just want to see what's in there, if anything. Probably not. Hopefully not. Yeah, no pending codes. Okay, good. There it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug those sensors back in real quick, and then I'm going to tell it to erase the codes and see if it will erase the codes. All right, I have all 3 of the connectors plugged back in. Let's go back over here. I'm going to put it back into accessory mode. That's my radar detector that's going off. And okay, check engine light is still on. So let's go ahead and erase those codes. Erase codes. Do you want to clear the diagnostic trouble codes? We'll clear all the emissions related diagnostic information. Engine off and key on. Okay. Please wait. No responses received from the module. What does that mean? Yeah. Okay. Running into a problem. Why won't it erase the codes? Okay. Give me a minute. All right, let's go ahead and try this now. I'm going to go down to DTC, CNT. I would assume that stands for diagnostic connector, which is the OBD. So let's go ahead and try to clear it via this way. Erase codes. Yep. There we go. Immediately. DTCs have been cleared. And there you go. And since everything's plugged back in, it shouldn't come back with any more codes. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this real quick. Pull it out here. And it's in there. Come on. There we go. Let's go ahead and turn the key on just to make sure. And yeah, no codes. There you go. So it read and cleared the codes perfectly fine. I just had to go to that DTC connector menu to clear them. Anyways, there it is. So that's not all I'm going to do. I'm going to keep, I'm going to read the manual a little bit more and go and try it out some even more. All right, so I just want to show off a couple more features. So first thing I'm going to click here is just diagnostics. It's going to take it a minute here. This kind of takes a long time, but again, it's a pretty cheap scan tool. It's about what I was expecting. Give it a second here and it'll go through its protocols and stuff. It'll detect and then it'll get here to the menu. And all right, here we have the MIL status. In this case, since I cleared those codes yesterday, it is off. We have DTC diagnostic trouble codes connector. I would assume again is what that means. We have monitor okay, and it says 6. Let's go in and see that here. Okay, so from here we could read codes, erase codes. We have live data, freeze frame. We also have vehicle info, I/M readiness, mode 6, O2 sensor test, and component test. Now, I tried a couple of these things, such as the oxygen sensor test, and I tried this when it was off, so maybe it'll work now. Let's try bank 1 sensor 1, and I don't think it's gonna work, but it might now. Yeah, it says selected mode is not supported. I'm not sure if that's because my vehicle just doesn't communicate that through OBD. Again, this is the first year for OBD 2, so maybe they just didn't have, you know, to read the O2 sensor data through the OBD sensor at that time. I'm not 100% sure, or maybe it's a problem with this thing. I really can't tell you. I think what I am going to try is trying on a little bit of a newer vehicle to see if it'll read the O2 sensors on there, but it's definitely not doing it in my 96 Jeep Cherokee. It's going to go back here. You also have your diagnostic trouble codes lookup, and this is actually pretty cool. So let's go in and open this here. And you have just a whole bunch of stuff here. Acura, Alfa Romeo, Audi, Bentley, Mercedes, BMW, Buick. Just a whole bunch of stuff here. You even have Ferrari, Fiat, Ford, a whole bunch of things here. I'll keep going here. Even Lamborghini, Land Rover, Lexus, Lincoln, Mazda, Mercury, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Opel, whole bunch of other things. Even have one that I've never heard of, Seat, or Seat, I don't know, however you want to say that. We have Skoda, Subaru, Suzuki, Vauxhall, however you want to say that. And we also have VW. I'm going to have to scroll all the way to the top here. Now, if we go for an example here in Jeep, you can enter in your trouble code here. And I'm just going to choose a random one. I'm just going to guess. I believe PO331. I think that's the trouble code. I could be wrong though. Let's go and see here. Input value, yeah. Okay, and it says this. Okay, let me actually find a trouble code and see if I could actually look it up. All right, so this one here is one that we actually came up with yesterday. I believe this is one for a misfire. So let's go ahead and try it, or maybe it's even one for the injector. Anyways, let's just see what I'll come up with. Input value, PO201. That's right, and it says this. Why is it not? Yes, that's what I input, yes. Why is it not looking it up? Yeah, I'm not sure. It just comes up with this. Well, that's definitely not a trouble code. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look at the user manual for that. I have no idea why that is not working there. That was my first time trying it on video. Weird. Anyways, here we have the battery test also, and this actually seems to work. So max is 13.7. That's what it charged at the maximum. Typically in the morning when I start this thing up, it charges at about 14.1, and then as it gets warmed up, charges at about 13.7 at idle. And you can see the minimum that it is charging at right now is 13.6. And if we go over here to my radio, which displays the voltage, it's reading about 13.5, 13.6 right here. And then what I'm going to do, it's actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip off the aux fan, and it'll stay at about 13.6. Oh, sorry, I was kind of filming the steering wheel there. And then I'll flip on the aux fan, which will basically draw power, and this number should go down. And it did. Went down there quite a bit for a second there, 12.9, and then it should jump back up. Okay, or maybe that's just the minimum that it's read altogether, which I think so, because now it's charging about 13.6, 13.5, so right around there. And yeah, actually you can see right here, never mind, charging at about 13.7 volts, right around there. Let's go and turn it off again, and then flip it on, and you can see it goes down for a minute. So that voltage reading is actually working, and it seems to be working pretty well. It seems to be pretty accurate. It could also be that my radio one here is off, which is more than likely the case. Also here you have settings, which you could change between languages. You can also change the unit here. You also have data logging, which I believe is off right now. It is. We also have self-test here, which tests the screen and the keyboard. Let's go and try the screen. Okay, and it just cycles through the different colors. And I think I actually have to wait for it to... Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna have to wait. There we go, now it's done. Okay, let's go and try keyboard test. I just want to see if this will work. And it does, yeah. That's pretty cool. And then we also have system info here, which I just want to make sure this isn't gonna... Yeah, it shows a couple numbers. But you can see right here, mine was made on July 11th, 2020. And there you go. That is pretty much it here. So overall, I mean, so far, it seems to be a pretty all right scanner. I don't know why it won't read the info from those O2 sensors. I'm going to have to try that out again on a newer, different vehicle, actually on a Ford. And I'll see if it works. I just want to go back here and show you a couple of different things. And there it all is. You could also go to ignition type here, which... Okay, yeah, just brings this up again. Brings up this kind of main menu. You also click vehicle info here. Turn key off with engine off. Okay, let me do that real quick. I'm gonna going to put it into accessory mode here. Okay, it's an accessory mode. And I tried this earlier, and I doubt it's going to work this time either. Yeah, the selected mode is not supported. Again, I'm just thinking that's because of how old my car is. Let me go try this on a different vehicle. Let me see if a couple of these things work. You never know, maybe they will. Alright, so I'm now in my 2003 F-150 here, and I wanted to see if a couple of these features worked, since this is obviously a newer vehicle than my 96 Jeep Cherokee that we were previously trying this in. Now, currently this thing doesn't have any trouble codes, so I can't look that up, but we can actually click on a vehicle info here now, and it actually finally comes up with some info. It comes with the VIN, Cal ID, and CVN. I don't know what the Cal ID and CVN stands for, but it actually does come up with a code. I've gone through those, and they actually come up with the proper codes, at least for the VIN. So that is cool. It will work on a newer vehicle. You could also do the O2 sensor test, and I tried that out earlier. And unless it's, okay, I don't know what it just did there. Let's go to bank 2 sensor 1. And you can see here, I think it's, yeah, it says the selected mode is not supported. Again, I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe it just works on much newer vehicles. I'm not 100% sure, but it's not working on my 96 Jeep Cherokee or the 2003 F-150 here. You also can try a component test here, and this actually does something. Apparently it sends a request for a evap leak test, and it does that, so that's pretty cool. So there it is. That's pretty much it. So a couple of the features here, you just have to have a newer car, but for basic things such as, you know, reading and clearing codes, you could have a vehicle all the way back to 96 and it will work. So there it is. So I guess what I'll do now, stop this clip and give you guys my final opinions. Alright, so overall, what do I think of this OBD scanner? I would say for the price, it seems to be a pretty decent code scanner, actually. I've tested code scanners before, OBD scanners, and I believe the one I tested was about $20, and it was one that was actually, I think, Bluetooth. It wasn't Wi-Fi, it was actually Bluetooth. And you have to download an app on your phone, and then you could read codes and clear codes and stuff, read data. And that was actually a pretty good code scanner. And this one is pretty good too. And this one is all in one. You don't need a phone. You don't need to pair it up to Bluetooth to your phone or anything. It's just all here. It has a screen built in and also buttons built in, which is pretty nice. So far, it seems to be doing a pretty decent job. It read all the codes correctly. It cleared the codes. I've had no issues with that. I've been driving around the vehicle for a couple of days, and the codes haven't came back, obviously, because it, cleared them, and I plugged the sensor back in. Or in this case, if you had, a code or something on your car, you'd probably have to replace that sensor or whatever it is that went bad. In this case, again, I just simulated that by unplugging a sensor. But I'd say so far, it seems to be a pretty decent code scanner for that. Oxygen sensor test, again, I can't get that to work. Maybe it only works on certain older vehicles, or maybe it works on all newer vehicles. I'm not 100% sure on that. And also that DTC lookup thing, I couldn't get that to work. As you guys saw last night, I put in a valid code and it just gave me an error of some sort. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I couldn't get that to work, which it's kind of unfortunate, but I mean, that's why you have Google, to look up the codes. Other than that, broken feature, as far as I could tell, maybe it only works on certain things. So other than that, it seems to be a pretty good code scanner. Again, I've had zero issues so far. So I'd say for the price, if you're just wanting to diagnose your car at home, this is a pretty good code scanner. If you have a big business or something like that, if you're an actual mechanic, making hundreds of dollars a day, get a better code scanner. You could get maybe an Autel or something. But this little thing, I mean, it'd do the job, but you could definitely get a lot better code scanner. Obviously, you have to pay that price. But for, me, just an at-home mechanic, working on my own car whenever it has problems, this is actually a pretty good choice. So, yeah, guys, that's really it for this video. Hope everybody enjoyed. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.